Chopping down trees with your sledgehammer for wood in Scrap Mechanic Survival takes a long time. It also drains your hunger and thirst and only gives you scrap wood. Cutting down big trees, however, is easy with the tree cutter. It also gives you more wood per tree and wood 1 instead of scrap wood. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a simple tree cutter so you can start cutting down those big trees. If you do end up finding this video helpful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Also, I do stream over on Twitch, link in the description below. Let's get started. So right here we have a large tree, and the way you can tell a large tree is it has this texture going up it, and it's also obviously very large. And you have to have a saw blade to cut down these trees. You see if you hit it with your sledgehammer, it just says this tree is too big for the sledgehammer. So any other trees in the game that you can cut down, such as these or the small white and gray ones like that over there, you can break with your hammer. And this tree cutter will actually work on those as well. But mainly what I use it for is cutting down these large trees. And basically all we have here is a simple little car, as you can see. It's made out of wood 3. I made it out of wood 3, so that way in case some hay bots or tote bots come up and they start swinging at it, they don't break it. You can make it out of pretty much whatever you want. The lighter, the better, probably. And I did attach the tires with suspensions. If you can't afford suspensions because you're just starting out, that's okay. You can just put the tires on like you normally would. The suspensions just make it a lot easier to maneuver, as well as to lower and raise the car depending on the terrain. Because what you're going to need is the saw blade down here, and the saw blade is about 1 block. It's about 1 block off the ground, maybe 1.5 blocks off the ground, depending on the terrain. And the reason you want it so low to the ground is so when you chop the tree down, it can actually process all the wood. So this is a tree I cut down earlier, and when you cut the tree down, it'll break off into the pieces that need to be further hit before they turn into the wood that can be refined. If you have the blade low enough, it'll actually break all of that wood down for you, so all you have to do is go behind and pick it up. So basically, that's the gist of it, and we have 2 engines in the back of our car. The gas engine is powering the wheels, and the electric engine is powering the saw blade. Now, the reason I do this is because I found that the electric engine is just far more efficient for saw blades and drills, and that's pretty much all that I use them for right now. And with the addition of batteries being added to the game where you can actually craft them, although we've never had a problem with batteries, I know some players have, using an electric engine for this is going to be a great option because you're probably never going to run out of batteries. And it also gives it enough power to cut down the trees. So that's pretty much all you need here. We do have a higher level seat, but that's not really necessary. And I don't even believe, I think the engines are, this is a level 3. Yeah, we have a level 3 on both engines. I think you can actually get away with it on level 2, if I'm not mistaken. And what we did is we made sure the suspensions are, the reason I like to use the suspensions is because I can raise them and lower them based on the terrain. So here it's pretty flat, but sometimes you might be on some bumpy terrain and you might need to actually adjust the suspensions to be able to hit the tree properly. So real quick, let's get started. Now we have a switch on here, so we press 1 to turn on our saw blade, and as you can see, it's spinning pretty fast. We're just going to glide down here into the tree, slow ourselves down before we hit it. And now you do bounce off of it sometimes, so you got to just line yourself up. Once you get lined up, though, it's good to go. Now the reason this is really good for the large trees is, as you can see, the large trees fall in a perfectly straight line. And when you break them, they don't just scatter all over the place, which is great. So real quick, we're just going to go down here and we're going to break this tree up. Now, one way you'll know if your blade is too low to the ground is if it's making this sparking while it's not actually touching any of the tree that you're cutting, then it probably needs to be raised up a notch on your suspensions. So that's the benefit of using suspensions. Like I said, if you don't have the suspensions, you can always just raise it up 1. Also, you can use this same build. The way I have it set up is I could put a drill in the front of this as well and use the same thing for drilling rocks. So it's pretty easy just using a weld tool. And as you can see, we're breaking most of this pretty easily. And this is how I cut down all the trees for building our giant wooden bridges, as well as our living area and where we have all of our cars stored and everything like that. And it's pretty simple. So it also, like I said, it's good for using on other trees as well. But I particularly like it for the larger trees because the larger trees immediately give you wood 1. So you don't actually have to refine the scrap wood. And I think you get about a stack of 256 per large tray. Maybe more, maybe less, depending on the tray. I don't know if it's exactly static. So yeah, that's it for this tree cutter. Now you might be asking, why is it so small? Why is it not? Why do we have to collect the wood manually? So right now, because it's not that fuel efficient to have the giant resource collector behind it, I do have a large resource collector. And what we do is we basically cut down all the trees, and then after we're done, we just drive over with the resource collector. The resource collector has a bunch of resource collectors on it, as well as 2 refinery bots, and it basically just picks everything up and then just processes it for us. And it's way more fuel efficient to do that because all I have to do is wait till all the trees are cut down. So basically, if I had that giant load on the back of this vehicle, or the vehicle's much larger, it would use way too much gas. Now, I know the devs mentioned in the latest patch notes that they're going to be reducing the amount of gas that's used for heavy loads, which is definitely good. I think the engines are definitely need a little bit more fuel efficiency. And once that happens, I might actually make it bigger. But this is actually a vehicle that pretty much anybody can use. So even if you're just starting out, and like I said, if you don't have the suspensions, you can just build it like you would build your normal car. Just make sure you try to you need to have at least the regular wheels on it. And the suspensions definitely do help. You could actually power the whole thing with one gas engine or probably one electric engine if you're trying to be really thrifty, or if you just don't have the resources, and then just upgrade it as you can over time. But yeah, we just cut down that big tree in a couple of seconds, even though it was actually on a pretty steep slope here, which is a testament to how versatile this vehicle is. Like I said, you might have to mess around with the suspensions a little bit to raise it or lower it, or you could actually put pistons on the front. If you want to get really fancy, you could put a piston on here that raises and lowers the saw blade for you. That's kind of what I have on my drill set. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful, and if you did, please consider clicking that like button and subscribing for more videos like this. Also, I do stream over on Twitch, link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.